Hey guys, it is time. It's Vader time. That was so cringeworthy. I am going to do here WWE Summerslam 2017 predictions. Summerslam, of course, is live on Sunday at 10 PM in the UK with the pre-show and midnight with the main show. So let's get right into it. I'm going to put little pictures of the matches up here. So, wha-bam, they're going to be there. So first of all, I guess I'll just go right away. So the kickoff match, boom. The Hardy Boys and Jason Jordan versus the Miz and the Miz-Taraj. The Entourage, but with Miz-Taraj, which is Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. Who have I got and why? I have got the Hardy Boys and Jason Jordan, mostly for the fact that Jason Jordan needs the push. Right now, he's kind of not doing all that well. He just lost on Raw, I believe. I mean, I know the storyline's kind of going to continue, but this feels like the Hardy Boys were originally going to face Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, and then they got injured, and then it seemed like they were going to face Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, who are just looking they're not on the card, which is weird, but then they ended up facing against the Miz-Taraj instead, and I feel like they're going to go broken later, and in order to break, they kind of have to lose when they go broken, and Jason Jordan needs the push. So I'm going Hardy Boys, Jason Jordan. Next match, boom, right there. We have got the WWE Cruiserweight Championship match, also on the kickoff show, which is a little weird, but there are 13, 14 matches on this card, so I guess we kind of got to push things. I kind of wish they would have put all the championship matches on the main show, as well as actually defend the Intercontinental title on the main show, but hey. So Akira Tozawa, of course, he just won on Monday. He won the Cruiserweight Championship. I'm looking at it right on my screen right now. He won the Cruiserweight Championship from Neville, and now it's Akira Tozawa versus Neville. And I'm hoping that they keep the title on Akira Tozawa. I'm hoping that they don't go, oh, well, he won it on Raw, so now let's switch and have him win it at the pay-per-view and win it back. I'm hoping that they keep it on Akira Tozawa. And that's who I'm going with. I'm going with Tozawa. It makes sense. I know WWE doesn't always make sense, but that's what I'm going with. And it'll be a nice, happy thing to get the crowd amped. Next match, I really am annoyed that this is on the pre-show, because this is probably the best match of Battleground. Personally, I think it should have been Randy Orton Rusev on the pre-show instead of this match, and that's the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match, the New Day versus the Usos. Now, the New Day won the title at the last show, which I thought was weird, and the Usos. So I'm torn on this. I'm gonna go Usos. Oh, bam! It's already there, but forgot to say bam. I'm gonna go Usos because I feel like this feud's not over, and it felt weird that the title change happened at Battleground. So I think they're gonna switch it back to the Usos, and then maybe at TLC upcoming, maybe they have a ladder match to determine the champion, and then of course that would go back to the New Day at that point. But I'm going Usos, or maybe Usos via shenanigans possibly, but I'm thinking Usos clean, win it back, and then at TLC or whatever shows upcoming, whatever gimmick match there is, that'll be the match. Next match on the card, Big Show versus Big Cass with Enzo Amore suspended in a shark cage, cause they gotta sell them playsets. These playsets. Back to the match. These playsets right here, they've got to sell them. So, yeah, SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. Big Show versus... I can't read, apparently. Big Show versus Big Cass, Enzo Amore spinning a shark cage. There's a lot of rumour online. Hang on. Spoiler alert. Spoiler warning. I kind of wanted it to go that way, but I can't do it with my hands because the camera's flipped and I'm terrible at doing that. Big Show, Big Cass, Enzo Amore. Yeah, there's a rumor going on online that Enzo is going to turn heel. He's going to realign himself with Big Cass because it's kind of been proven that Big Cass doesn't really work on the mic and Enzo is kind of stuck. But then he's also got heat, and he might go to 205 Live or be sent back down to NXT. I don't think they do a heel turn, personally. I think that it's too soon, unless they can work it in saying, oh, he never actually betrayed me, this was our way of both turning heel, but that's a bit dumb. Big Cass. I'm saying Big Cass will win this, because even though there'll be shenanigans, he'll beat down Enzo, and he'll beat down Big Show, and show that he's the new big person. And then Enzo will get buried. So, Big Cass. Next up, Randy Orton versus Rusev. I like Rusev. Randy Orton's kind of old. He's slow. He kind of phones it in. I hope Rusev wins, but I'm going Randy Orton because it's Randy Orton and it's WWE. And they just, ever since Rusev told everyone that he was marrying Lana, I think he's just kind of been stuck down. And then he got injured, but that's not high on him anymore. Remember when he rode that tank? That was awesome. Next match, boom. Naomi versus Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I'm saying Naomi. I think she's retaining. I think she's gonna hold it. She's gonna be one of the longest reigning women's shows. She's not gonna be the longest reigning. Obviously, that's Nikki Bella or Brie Bella, one of the Bellas. But I think they're going to keep the title on her. She obviously lost it before WrestleMania, won it back at Mania. I don't think it's changed hands between Mania and now. But I could see her holding it for a full... If it has changed, then that's obviously slipped my memory. But I can see her holding it until WrestleMania again. So I'd like Naomi to keep it. I think that's going to be a really good match, actually. If they give it the time that it deserves, Naomi and Natalya can go. Plus, do you feel the glow? Feel the glow? Next match up here, we have Raw Tag Team Championship, Cesaro and Sheamus versus Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Now, obviously, Seth and Dean have just teamed back up. The Shield have reunited. And that's a big reason to give them the title here. But I think it's too soon. I think Sheamus and Cesaro need to keep it for at least another, the rule of three, basically. So they need to have another match at the next pay-per-view and then one at the third pay-per-view, and that's where Ambrose and Seth would win. They kind of trade one. Well, I won't trade one for one, but you see what I'm saying. I think that Cesaro and Sheamus should win it booking wise. What would I like? You know what? I'm gonna go with my gut. Sheamus and Cesaro. They're retaining the titles. I want them to keep the titles. They're having an amazing run. It's fantastic. I know that, what have I said? I've said everyone's retaining so far, and I feel like that's kind of the feel of this pay-per-view. Everyone's gonna retain, except for one match. Well, maybe two matches. I'd say two. Next up on the card is Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship. Sasha Banks was a last-minute change. She originally didn't have a match on the SummerSlam card, and for that reason I'm saying it's going to stay with Alexa Bliss. They can always surprise us and pull a U-turn and decide to have obviously Sasha win, but the fact that she wasn't even going to have a match at SummerSlam kind of made me think that they weren't all that high on her winning the title right now, because it originally was Bayley. So I think they're going to keep it on Alexa Bliss. I know you could try and apply that logic to Charlotte, but obviously the whole thing that's going on with her father right now, it makes sense why they wouldn't want to have a match. She needs to be with her family, and so that just makes sense. The United States Championship match with Shane McMahon as a special guest referee, and hopefully some crazy Shane McMahon shenanigans. I'm hoping that this match goes 7 minutes at the beginning, and what I mean by that is 7 minutes, and then Shane gets involved, and he goes, you know what? No disqualification. You know what? Screw it. No disqualification. It's the only way this is going to work. No disqualification. And then Shane gets involved, screws Kevin Owens, so AJ Styles retains of his own accord, but Shane McMahon also screws Kevin Owens in the process, if that makes sense. So Shane does his, coast to coast with a trash can onto Kevin Owens. But then the match continues for a little bit longer, and then AJ Styles wins sort of his own volition. I'm hoping for like a 16-minute match, but 7 minutes, and then Shane McMahon's like, you know what, no disqualifications now. I'd enjoy that. I don't think it'll happen. I think if they're going to do that, they're going to save it for... they're going to save it for the Elimination Chamber, not Elimination Chamber, but whatever pay-per-view, TLC. I'm going to say TLC. I don't know if it's the next one. It feels like it should be. There's a pay-per-view every 2 weeks now, so it's hard to keep up. And I don't really do these predictions. I kind of just do them for big ones. I'm not going to be live streaming this. I'm going over to family, friends. Well, I'm going to my brother's house, but having some friends over to watch it live. So I'm going to do that. And also my internet's too bad to live stream it anyway, at least for the foreseeable future. Anyway, I digress. Next match, the Demon Finn Bálor versus Bray Wyatt. Finn Bálor is winning. But this is just a match card. I'm really bad at doing the pointing. This is really simple. This is going to be... He's painted as the Demon. Whenever the Demon is painted, he's not going to lose. And I think they're going to keep that going. Every time he wears Demon paint, he's not going to lose for a while. Like a few years is what I'm thinking. And then Roman Reigns is going to pin him. And that he's going to be the guy to break the Demon from Finn Bálor. This match, it might be like, it'll be a good match. All of these matches are gonna be decent. The problem is that the builds to them haven't been great. So while it's a hard card to predict, which is good, my overall anticipation isn't as high as it could be. Let's say that, especially for that match. Next one, John Cena versus Baron Corbin. Oh, Baron. Oh, Baron. Now, I love Baron Corbin. I was rooting for him. I was really happy when he won the Money in the Bank. And then they screwed it all last week and made him lose, which is really stupid because it kind of took all the oomph out of... I know it was going to be predictable. Everyone was saying Shinsuke Nakamura is going to win, then Baron Corbin's going to cash in because he's still got that feud going. But I feel like... they kind of ruined it. Like, I know it's predictable. Sometimes predictable is good. Sometimes, people are anticipating it happening, and then you could not have it happen, and people would be annoyed, but they'd be like, "Ooh!" It got people hyped, if that makes sense. People were hyped to see if Baron Corbin would cash in. You could have still not had him cash in, and it would have been interesting. Now, by having him cash in, it's kind of taken a little bit of oomph out of that championship match. Unless, and I wish they would announce during the pre-show or something, that John Cena versus Baron Corbin, due to Baron Corbin obviously cashing in and beating up John Cena, and then John Cena sort of causing Baron Corbin to not be ready when he cashed in, so he kind of lost by a bit of interference. I'm hoping that it gets announced by... Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan that John Cena vs Baron Corbin is a number one contendership match. And I still think John Cena is going to win. But I'd like that to be a number one contendership match because next match, right there, Jinder Mahal versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura wins the WWE Championship match. And then at the next pay-per-view, properly, for a good 20 minutes, we get Shinsuke Nax versus Jinder Mahal. Now, Shinsuke Nax versus John Cena. I know Shinsuke Nakamura is the guy that dropped John Cena on his head, but as you could clearly see, it seemed like it was everyone was at fault there. John Cena either didn't jump far enough, or was told the wrong move, possibly, or thought we were going for a different move. But also, Shinsuke Nakamura didn't either threw him at the wrong angle or didn't give enough oomph. But afterwards, he even said, you could see John Cena clearly saying, "Don't apologise, we're both at fault." So, hopefully that didn't affect Shinsuke Nakamura. But I have heard, and again, spoiler alert, I have heard rumours of Jinder Mahal retaining because they're going on tour of India after SummerSlam, and that would, there's a SmackDown tour of India coming up soon, and it wouldn't really make sense that Jinder Mahal would lose if they're going to India. So I'm really hoping that doesn't happen. Spoiler warning, over. And then the main event, the big match, has to be the main event. Nothing else can be. The Universal Championship Fatal 4-Way. If Brock loses, he and Paul Heyman leave the WWE. Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, and Braun Strowman. Now, I've been going back and forth since this match was announced 4 weeks ago. Will it be Brock? Will it be Reigns? Will it be Samoa? And I was thinking, okay, Brock's a heel, Samoa Joe's a heel, Braun Strowman's a heel, Roman Reigns is meant to be a face. Oh shit, Roman Reigns is going to win. And then I started thinking, well, now I've heard that Paul Heyman is trying to get Samoa Joe to have the title. And then I heard that everyone says Braun Strowman should win. And now I'm hearing that, now the whole thing's reversed. And this last week they've been saying that Brock Lesnar will not be leaving the WWE. He might go and do the UFC fight with Joe Jones, but he won't leave the WWE. This will be a whole cross-promotion thing. But his contract is legitimately going up. They could always come out on Monday night and Paul Heyman says Brock Lesnar will leave for the foreseeable future, and then go and do the fight, and then obviously come back, and it's still the whole thing. Or he could not leave, but still go and do, he could retain, say, we're not leaving, but we're still going to go and do this fight. Or he could lose the title and say, we're going to go do this fight. I'm going to go, and I have to give a name, and this is the hardest match in a long time to, but me and my brother and friends have been talking about this back and forth, and it's so hard to predict this match, and that is good. That is a damn good thing. I know this match it's going to take so long to get there, and I'm hoping it's a 25-minute match. I'm going to go with a name. I'm picking Samoa Joe. And I'm picking Samoa Joe because I think it'd be really, really, really cool. I'd also think it'd be cool if Braun Strowman won, and if Brock Lesnar retained, that'd be amazing. Anyone but Roman. And it's nothing against Roman Reigns as a wrestler. He's perfect, not perfect, but he's fine. He's just as good as everybody. He's just as good as the John Cenas of the world. He's not as good as AJ Styles, not as good as Kevin Owens, but he's in the main event caliber. He's all right. I can't say he's as good as Samoa Joe or Braun. Braun Strowman's not great, but they've worked things out. And he's obviously no one's going to ever be as big and beastie as Brock, but he's a main eventer. He's definitely in the right vein. The only gripe I have with Roman is his character, and that's the problem. The character is stale. The character's boring, and I think that's why people just boo Roman Reigns. It's not that he can't wrestle, because he's put on some amazing matches. His number one contendership match with Daniel Bryan at a Elimination Chamber was amazing a couple of years ago. He's put on some great matches at WrestleMania. He's had great matches against, Rusev, and even his match against Bray Wyatt not so long ago was great. It's just, and the things he's been putting on with Braun Strowman have been phenomenal, by the way, throughout the entire year. I want them to just fight forever. The problem is, it's just his character, and I know people say, oh, he's crappy shit, but I don't think he is. I think his character is shit. His character sucks, and that's why I don't like Roman Reigns. Not because that he can't wrestle, because he can. He's in all these main events and he can go. The problem is the character. He's not. I don't have a problem with the John Cena character, because John Cena is John Cena. Roman Reigns is not John Cena, and that's what they're trying to book him as, a pale imitation of a John Cena, and it just doesn't work for me. It doesn't work. I just have. He can be a babyface. I have no problem with him being a babyface, or this in-between kind of thing. In fact, the in-between thing's better than his just bland face, but he's missing something. I don't know if he's missing an advocate as far as Paul Heyman, or he's missing some sort of character development, but that's why he falls down for me. Anyway, so just to recap real quick the card here, and who we've picked. We've got Hardy Boys, Jason Jordan over The Miz and The Miztourage, Akira Tozawa over Neville, The Usos over The New Day, Big Cass over Big Show, Randy Orton over Rusev, Naomi over Natalya, Cesaro and Sheamus over Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, Alexa Bliss over Sasha Banks, AJ Styles over Kevin Owens, Finn Bálor over Bray Wyatt, John Cena over Baron Corbin, Shinsuke Nakamura over Jinder Mahal, and Samoa Joe over Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, and Braun Strowman. If you disagree with... What the heck went on with the light? It got really dark in here all of a sudden. If you disagree with any of these, or you have your other predictions, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll try and tweet along at Edible Monks. And that is it. Enjoy SummerSlam Sunday, 10 PM pre-show, 12 o'clock here in the UK. The main show begins. And I will see you guys in the next video.